Welcome guys to John's Football Channel. I hope all you're doing well. This is the post review of England versus Argentina. Unfortunately, England didn't manage to make it in the end. England lost 2-1 on the night in 90 minutes. Very shocking results. I took some time to actually analyze and think about it a lot. There's a lot of people commenting where Argentina did well. There's also been clips going around also about Argentina, their offside, the foul. So it's all of these things that now we have to analyze and see. Like, yes, we lost. There's nothing else we can do. But now, what does that mean for Argentina? Does it guarantee them that they're actually gonna go into the final and actually win, no matter what? That is a question. But yeah, let's get into this. This post review, and let's analyze it, and actually let's see what actually happened and what we should have done in order to get the result. So starting off, obviously, Argentina went with Martinez in goal. They went with Telefinco as the left back, Martinez and Romero as the centre backs, and then they had Molina as the right back. And then in the midfield, they had McAllister, Paredes, Fernando, and Simons as the midfield. And then ahead of them, they went with Alvarez and Messi. As expected, I think that was the obvious team that they'll probably go with. I mean, they've been playing with that same team. And then we look at for England. Then we went with Pickford in goal, Reece James as the right back, John Stones and Mark Gurry as the centre backs, George Spence as the left back. In the midfield, they went with Declan Rice and Anderson. And then ahead of them, they went with Rodgers, Bellingham, and Gordon. And then we went with Kane as the striker for England. So if we look at this team, I think it was a lot different when England played the previous game. They didn't have the likes of Rodgers. They didn't have the likes of Reece James in the team. So it was very good to see. Good that the manager actually changed it up and went with Reece James, and actually gave some more firepower in terms of Rodgers as one of the wingers. I think it was just unfortunate that Bukayo Saka didn't actually play this game at all. I think Rodgers does deserve to get in this team, but if he does deserve to get in this team, I think he gets ahead of Bellingham. I think I'm more scared of Bellingham, more scared of Rodgers in the team than Bellingham. And Bukayo Saka in the team, if he's playing well. Sometimes Bukayo Saka lands up having stinkers, but on other days he lands up putting on a shift. And I think we don't know what's happening in training sessions. We don't know what the players are actually doing. So as much as we want to fight with the manager, say, why didn't you bring this player on? Why didn't you play that player? It's all based on, do they deserve it? Have they been playing well leading up to this game, to actually play this game? And the players that they have been playing with, have they been playing better than them? That is the obvious question that needs to be answered, and only the manager knows that answer. So it wasn't the worst team in the world to go against Argentina. I was skeptical about Reece James playing that position. We know that he has been injured for quite a while, and now for him to come back and actually start a game, especially on that wing, I don't think he can ever play on a wing again as a right back. I think, unfortunately, from my perspective, I think Reece James's career is actually over in terms of World Cup appearances. I don't see him playing another World Cup. I think he's gonna probably try to get as much money as he can get from Chelsea, knowing, because as soon as he gets off the Chelsea wagon, he's just gonna dip and decline into the lower levels of leagues and be non-existent. And then basically, if we had to think about the game, I mean, the first half I think was a bit more edgy. There was a counter-attack football from both teams, a very good game of football compared to other games that we've seen. I think it was a better game than France against Spain. It was a lot more tidy, a lot more counter-attack, a lot more tactical. And then we'll end up seeing Rodgers and Gordon linking up in the 55th minute to actually get the goal. Very good goal from them, where Rodgers crosses it in and Gordon puts it in on the wing. A very good goal from us, knowing that we 1-0 ahead. I think now at this stage, all of our mentalities probably will switch. I think it depends on the person you are. I think you could either say, okay, now we've got the first goal, let's get the second. I do agree with that. That is a good thing to do. But now I think the one thing that I would actually say that this is where Tuchel went the other way. I think it was dependent on the substitutions. If we look at the substitutions that were made, we'll end up seeing Simons come off, Rodrigo De Paul coming on. We'll end up seeing Molintel coming on. We'll end up seeing Otamendi come on. We'll end up seeing Lautaro Martinez come on as well. So I think those tactics and those players coming on clearly indicated that they're going to go and throw the kitchen sink at England. And I think that's when Tuchel actually said, okay, no, you playing those substitutions, let me counter-attack the team. And I think prior to around the 70th minute, they were having chances at our goal. And I think that's when we'll end up seeing Daniel Byrne come on. Who obviously we know he's a tall lad. He's able to get in the box and actually help defensively very, very in the air. And I think that's where I think we all agree that he was one of the players that should have came on. And then we end up seeing Declan Rice come on off as well, and then O'Reilly come on for him. I think that one aspect, I think that's where probably Tuchel got it wrong. Even with Anthony Gordon and Konsa, I think we should have actually went. We could have. I think what he did is, some people are saying that we should go attacker and bring on attackers. And I think that's not the best way to go, is knowing that your opposition is bringing on attackers. You're gonna basically have attackers defending, which is not ideal. So it's a case of, I think what we should have done, and I think that's where the argument comes in, is 50-50. I think all the slow players in your team, the likes of Harry Kane, the likes of probably Bellingham, I don't think he's the fastest player in the world. I think he should have came off as well. And then you play the likes of Bukayo Saka, all the fast players. And that will actually trick the manager and actually trick the players and say, okay, guys, we're leaving our backline be open and exposed to this counter-attack football that England might get on the counter-attack. And I think we can't afford that. So let's actually be more defensive, or 50-50 as well. But now the fact that we brought on all the defenders, it gave Argentina the only opportunity. Okay, now we can go for it. They're defending, we're attacking. Let's go and see what we can do. And then for the most part, we were having it right. I think from the 70th minute to around the 85th minute, we were doing okay. We didn't look like they were going to get past us. And then all of a sudden, they end up having a corner. Then they played it into Enzo's path, into the box, and ends up shooting from outside of the D, and ends up putting it into Pickford's left-hand side of the goals. Could have Pickford actually got there? I suppose, obviously, at the end, he didn't. It's a very, very good goal. It's a very, very good shot at goal. Yes, you would expect your goalkeeper to actually get there. It's not like it's in the top corner or anything. But I think it's also towards the side netting. There's also the ball curling away from Pickford. So I think that's what gives the edge over Pickford. And that's why it probably went in. And afterwards, knowing that build up to that goal, we know there was questions of offside, but there was no second look being taken. So that was the first indicator that England are probably being robbed here. And then the second one, where in the 90th minute, where the ball, McAllister ends up hitting the ball into the post. It ends up coming off onto Messi's path. And just before Messi ends up retrieving the ball, Josh Spence is there to actually try to clear the ball as well. And then Messi lands up. If you take a look at some replays that have been played online, you see that Messi Spence's foot lands up getting tramped on by Messi before retrieving the ball. And then Messi ends up crossing it in and ends up putting it into Lautaro Martinez's path, and ends up hitting it for 2-1 on the night to actually seal the game for Argentina going into the final. I mean, we have Premier League players who know how to defend, and yet they make these small, obvious errors. I mean, surely John Stones know, as a Premier League player, you know who's behind you. Surely you know, okay, I got my left back there, or I have someone can be sneaking in from the midfield coming behind me. I need to make sure I get contact on this ball. And the ball comes in. John Stones somehow over or mistimes his jump and ends up going over him, and then goes into Martinez's path and ends up hitting it for the 2-1 winner. And I think that's very, very poor from John Stones to actually allow that to actually happen to him in his box. And then at the end, we had 4 minutes of stoppage time. Tuchel ends up taking off John Stones, ends up bringing Ivan Toney, taking off Josh Spence and bringing on Rashford. They're not the most attack of players, I would say. I don't really trust Rashford. I don't think he is as good as what he was. I think at Man United, probably when he first started out, I think he was very, very good class. But now, as he's gone older, I think he's completely dropped. He's nowhere near the levels that he once was. And I think over Ivan Toney is a slow player. He's not really a pacey player that I would actually look at and say, no, okay, if we need to play counter-attack football and we need to get the ball to you, I can trust you to actually get there. I do think maybe for headering he might help out, but apart from that, there's not much that he can actually do better than Harry Kane on the field. So I actually think that's not that didn't do much for us basically at the end. Rushing our chances, we end up just crossing for the sake of crossing. We didn't actually think, okay, let's knock the ball. Let's actually be. The Argentina knew they were 1-0 down, and they weren't so phased. They were experienced. They knew they had time. They knew if they can get one goal, they can actually go into probably into extra time or whatever. So I think that's the same logic that we should have went with. We should have been a bit more composed, be more okay, relaxed. Okay, we know we're losing. Let's actually focus. Let's actually put our mind to play and actually see. Okay, let's get some players linking up with one another. Let's play those triangles around the teams, and around those certain areas of the field that we'd actually like to capitalize on. And I think that's exactly what we didn't do. And we'll end up just crossing it and doing all sorts of other things, but not actually doing the basics right. And I think that's when at the end we'll end up losing this game on those bases. Now, let me know down below what you guys think. What do you guys think Tuchel should have done? Do you actually think there's also rumors being going around that he should actually get fired? He doesn't actually deserve to have this job. For me personally, I think that's unfair. I do think he does need time. I think we knew this going into this World Cup. It's his first year. Let's give him some time. Let's give him some time to actually see the players that he has in his magnitude, see what the players that he has in his caliber. Let him actually fully understand the players that he actually has. Let him actually know, okay, if it's really getting end-to-end football or the pressure is really on, who are the players that he can really trust on when he needs it the most. And I think in this World Cup so far, he has actually learned that and actually experienced the players that he actually has in his caliber, that no matter what, these are the players that can actually help him get it over the line. And then some other players, okay, these are the players that it's question marks on, and I need more analysis on them going into the next World Cups and next few games for England. And I think that's exactly what he needs. He needs a bit more time, and then we need a bit more time to actually analyze and to see whether he actually deserves to keep going as an England manager. There's another thing also. I do agree with this, but I've agreed with this ever since. Tuchel and all these other managers that are not playing for the countries don't and shouldn't be playing for other countries, other apart from themselves. Tuchel, we all know he's a German manager. His blood is German, so he should be coaching a German team. Same as our Portugal coach or manager. He's supposed to be coaching Belgium. If he's from Belgium, let him coach Belgium. Then leave him away from Portugal. Same with all these other coaches that are managing other teams that are not from there. Like Brazil's manager also, he's an Italian manager. He's not from Brazil, so he shouldn't be there. So all these managers don't know the true heritage of the England way, or of the club's way, or the country's way of doing things. And I think that's where things probably go wrong. And I think that's where the game becomes lost, and we don't end up having the true heritage of the football coming from its roots, from the managers to the footballers to the field and to the fans as well. And I think that's where something needs to be changed. And it is a question of when will it be changed, how will it be changed, and if it will be changed. The inconsistency of the referees. What are your thoughts going into the final? We know the final's being played tomorrow. So let me know down below what you guys think. How do you guys see the referees will play out? Do you think that we'll be playing fairly? Possibly not. Hopefully Spain do get the number over Argentina in this World Cup. Will it be done? So yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys think of this game. How do you see this game going? What are your thoughts on the managers? It'll be interesting to see your comments down below. So yeah, guys, stay tuned to the preview for France versus England, going into the third round. Obviously, there's not much to be played for, but it is a game. It is a game that will be taking place. Stay tuned for that video, and peace.